Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, I have so much stuff to look at, and I just don't seem to be getting to it. Today, I have here a Vic-20. It's funny, when I'm recording here, it looks marvelously white. Maybe that's the lighting here. And it's not bad, but it does have just a twang of yellowing. And I'm not sure if you can see. Oh, you should be able to see. The number 4 key is missing. It has been replaced by a tiny screw. So definitely, even if this machine works, the keyboard's got to come apart, and a replacement plunger and spring and plunger, stem, whatever, spring and keycap have to go on there. They do. This is a 2-prong version. It has the original power supply. It has an RF modulator. I haven't used one of those in a long time, but I do have, thanks to Steve Gray, a television that I can test it on. See, the Commodore 64, the RF modulator was in the machine. The Vic-20 was not. So, anyway, I'll see about testing that out. There was also 4 cartridges, including my most favorite game, which of course confounds me and enrages me from time to time, a Mega Race, and there were 3 others. I have not tried this yet. Oh, one thing about the joystick, which I always liked about this particular model, it may not be the best built, it may not be the most robust, it may not be the strongest, but it did have the auto fire button. It was a slider across the bottom, and if you just wanted whatever it was that you were playing to keep firing endlessly, just slide the button to the left and it will fire. Now, this of course, if you have endless firing, this is not bad. If you're in a game where you run out of things, this may not be good. It might not be. And of course the purists, I'm sure, would say, no, you have to decide when you fire or not. Anyway, another thing to check out. I also have a little monitor cable story to tell. I have not tried it yet, but a fellow who is quite brilliant in manners of child rearing and family things and other things. I saw a message, I went, wait, is that him? Anyway, he's revived his Commodore 64. But he did say that the picture wasn't all that great, and indeed he is going through the RF modulator, and he pondered that the switch box might need to be replaced. And I said, I will find you a cable. So I do need to test a couple of video cables. I also have a monitor. If you remember, I had an 1802 that was somewhat yellowed that I tidied up with a magic eraser, and I've been meaning to test it. But I cannot test the video cable for his 64 on the Vic-20 because, of course, the video output on the Vic-20 has 5 pins, and the 64, well, some of them had 5, most of them had 8, and the cables that I have found have 8. So what I really need to do is, tidy up another space where I can work. Because this is just a display spot. I need to tidy up a place where I can work, and as I've said, what I really want to do is have one spot for 64 things, one spot for, well, I suppose I could do 64s, Vic-20s, and 128s in one spot, pretty much, kind of, sort of, maybe. Anyway, I just have to get her done, which I haven't done. So, here we have a Vic-20, which I know is partially screwed because the number 4 key is indeed a flathead screw. Besides that, it supposedly works. But then, if things sit around for years and years and years, and they worked when you put them away. Yeah, maybe they work. Probably they do, but there's always a chance. Actually, I was horribly tormented this last couple of days. There was a fellow who was selling an original 8K small screen chiclet data set in the case thing. And I had it listed, and I thought, oh, well, that looks interesting. But he says it worked, maybe between 20 and 25 years ago. Says it's in its original box and all that stuff. But I guess he has some health issues and other things, and he won't let me take it out of the box or do anything or much of anything. And, I just want to see. If he says it's, perfect. But who knows? I suspect it is, but anyway. And then, in the midst of all that, the price more than doubled. And as much as I would love to get it, I just, something went off. Well, you know what I did? I flipped a coin. Heads I go, tails I don't. So I flipped a coin. Came up tails. So, as they say on Pawn Stars, and I'm sure on other shows, if the deal's not right, the deal's not right. So, I hope somebody in the Toronto and surrounding area does go and pay this fellow what he is asking, and they might have a really great machine there. It may be perfect. I don't know. But, it's been in a box for 25 years. It may be perfect. And from the sounds of it, it's probably been stored right, stored fine. But things happen. Many, many people. There was a fellow who had an SX64 that he figured was just Jim Dandy and glorious. And I was interested in it. But when he turned it on, I'm not sure what it did, but it didn't come up as it should. And so he was kind of surprised. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, but he didn't want to sell it to me for parts. I'm not sure what his plan is. I haven't heard for some time. But, even just time, as Bill Hurd and others say, heat is the enemy. But also time can be the enemy if a machine just sits around and is not used. Things can happen. And why do they happen? Who knows? Things happen. So, here it is. A Vic-20 with a 2-prong plug and a screw for a number 4. And accessories. So, more things to test, more things to check out. At this moment, I'm in typical fashion. I've got so much to do in so many different places and being pulled in so many different directions. At times it almost becomes paralyzing in that I have to get it all done, but it's so overwhelming that I generally don't get much of it done. Dear. Well, enough of this for now. I will stop recording, and I will make a list. And it's funny, long ago, I was at camp at a place called Cedar Glen. And this fellow was brought in to teach us about time management. And it was a big thing back then. This probably would have been in the early 80s. Golly, welly. It's funny, many years later, I met up with this fellow in my work and reminded him that when he was a young vice principal, he had come to Cedar Glen to tell the tale of time management. And what he would say is, you got to make a list, and then you have to rate things by importancy and urgency, between 1 and 5. And then it takes the guesswork out. If something is urgent and important, it's a 10. And you just make the list, and you do the 10s, then you do the 9s, onward you go. So maybe I'll try and do that today. Anyway, it did seem important and urgent that I just at least get this Vic-20 out and have a look at it. Have I got a place at this second to actually like test it out? Well, no, not really. But we'll see if that makes it onto the list of what's urgent and what's important. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. Stay tuned. Many, many, many more explorations to come. Bye for now.